Hey, there we go. Such
I
a
love how you went
chill
live after
song,
drop.
right? Yeah, this is apparently a chill song. That I went to the mood chill on Monster Cat, and this is what it's playing. I don't think it's very
This
accurate.
is probably from the Uncaged division, which their version of chill is not chill.
And to be fair,
Yeah.
I've had kids, friends of mine in high school that we would all just like actually listen to heavy metal music while we did our homework, and that to us was
fair.
like zen. I was listening to
That
Korn,
does-
Children of Bodom, Pantera. I was listening to all
I
that
do
shit.
have to remember that my kid sometimes falls asleep to hard rock, so...
I fell asleep to Metallica when I was a kid. I would put on the Black Album and put it on repeat on my cassette player.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can't fall asleep
Anyway,
without there being some kind of music or YouTube video playing in the background anymore.
we are live.
Same.
So welcome to episode
Gotcha.
27. Episode 20
I know.
There's Sobe.
Jesus. Episode 27 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. Today,
Oh,
we are talking...
Hang on, before we go any further, honest question,
Hang-
Turtle.
Huh?
How far did you expect us to get?
That's actually a good
I
question.
didn't think we'd go past January.
Only 1 month, huh?
So you only expected
Yeah.
2 episodes and then we're all done.
Pretty much. I was expecting maybe 4, maybe 8, because we were doing 2 a week. I
Yeah,
didn't
and then
think
all
we'd
of a
go past
sudden
a
it's
month.
just everyone latched onto it.
Yeah, it's a good thing to look forward to every week for me.
Yep.
I don't know
He
about
honestly
you
thought I
guys.
would lose interest first.
Oh man.
I probably wouldn't have. I love just sitting and talking.
You're a squeaker.
Wait, I
Anyway.
didn't hear him. What?
He's a squeaker.
Apparently,
Oh, it's-
my voice is high pitched for Turtle.
It's
Oh,
high pitched for me, yeah.
he's probably having the same problem that you do whenever your stuff goes out
Yeah.
of whack.
Yeah. Anyway, episode 27 of the Beyond Pixel podcast. Today we're talking about PC gaming versus console gaming. Which is better? Which is worse? Is there one that's better? Who fucking knows?
Lord, we're gonna have a fucking
Sorry
flame
in
war in the
advance.
comments section. You know
Uh,
that.
Yeah,
Me and you are just gonna flame back and forth at some point, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh.
This is not really a discussion about which is better. It's a discussion of can we get you two to shut up?
So, first thing, exclusives. There is no such thing as an exclusive PC game because
I know my voice
you have
is
a PC,
squeaky, Turtle,
it's-
but you
yeah.
might want to check stream
why?
because your intro screen is still up.
Uh oh.
It's not for me. Refresh the
Oh,
page.
it is for me.
Refresh the page. Twitch does some weird shit.
That's true. I'll double check or
Oh,
triple
okay.
check in this case.
No, I see it on my end, so we're good. But no. So my thing, there's exclusive console games, and they're exclusive to one of the 2 or 3 major consoles, right? Because you have Xbox, you have PlayStation, and then you have fucking Nintendo, whatever their consoles are now, right?
You have the
And
Switch.
there's exclusive titles to all 3 of those, and then a lot of those exclusive titles on one of those 3 is also available on PC, right?
I mean, they just announced, I can't remember which game it was, but everyone was like, fucking, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC finally, coming to Steam.
Yes, I'm so
shit.
excited for that.
Oh man,
I saw
Oh,
that, and I was
man.
just like, God fucking damn,
You-
that's,
As soon as I
You
saw
know
the
what I
Steam
want?
page, I immediately put it on my wish list.
You know what I want? I want multiplayer Kingdom Hearts.
That
That would
If-
actually be
if-
cool, where you
all
can
That'd
play
be
as
awesome.
Donald or Goofy.
All they have to do is remaster 358 over 2. That had a really good multiplayer in it.
I'm looking
I have
forward
the
to the
whole
mods,
1.5
to be
and
honest.
2.5 remixes. So I actually own a console, right? I own one console, the PS3, and I bought it solely so I could get 2 games: Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5. That's it.
Yeah, those are going to be
That
on
is the
Steam.
only reason I own a console.
Yeah, that would have been the only reason I get a PS5. Now I don't have to. Thanks, Square.
Okay, can I bitch about something real quick? Because I watched Actman's video today about Xbox shutting down 4 studios, including ones that have actually won Game of the Year or like won really good awards. Like the studio, I forget what it's called. I think it's called Tango Games. Someone can correct me in the chat or in the comments, but they're the ones that made Hi-Fi Rush, and that game actually won awards this year.
Didn't that game like blow a lot of people out of the water? It was that good.
Yeah, it was like super good, and it was actually
Eddie,
one of the, I think it was one of the,
cannot feel good to have my
footage. I haven't had a
toe
chance
shoved
to play
into
it
your
myself,
eye.
So
I haven't played it myself either, but from what I've heard, it's a really great game. It's almost like imagine if like Street Fighter meets Guitar Hero. Like that's the way I've heard it described.
I was gonna say Guitar Hero meets Devil May Cry. So
Well, let's face it, the two of them have
There's
already.
still some style involved.
Yeah,
Have you noticed the
I mean there is
turtle
skill,
bot is
I
functioning?
believe.
Turtlebots function.
Yeah. It's back to his old ways. Well, but anyway,
Nice.
so consoles and PCs,
Anyway.
right? Do you guys own consoles at all?
I have a
Um,
PlayStation 4. I don't play it anymore, but I use it to access YouTube whenever I go to sleep.
Okay.
I personally do not, but my roommate owns a Switch.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah, the Switch
no,
is
I don't
that
have
weird, like, the Switch is that weird mobile, but also not
yeah.
thing.
It's
weird.
Okay. Basis is it is a handheld through and through, but there is a docking station hooked up to an HDMI cable that will transfer the game onto your TV, and then you can just switch between the two.
Yeah, I've used pretty much all the different consoles point for, but they're all weird. You know, I don't
As much.
I
have a
don't I don't
I have a
ever see a
question.
reason to buy a console if it's not for a specific game or set of games that is exclusive to that console. I
Okay, I
see
have a
no
question
real
in that regard.
logical reason.
Mhm.
I have a question in that regard. Does a PSP or a Game Boy count as a console?
They're
Technically?
handheld consoles, yes.
Yeah.
It's okay. So just to make sure, so
If it's old
To be
school, it
honest-
still counts.
I'm very. I'll be honest. I saw a Game Boy Pikachu edition with the with Pokemon Yellow, and I almost bought it. It was only $65
I love
plus
the
shipping.
yellow
and handling.
version.
If we think back on the old style consoles like the OG Xbox, even the Xbox 360,
Mhm.
and the PlayStation and PS2, so the first 2 generations of the major consoles, it's out now, right? And then even the
Yeah.
Wii. When those consoles came out, computers weren't really as powerful as they are now. They couldn't run as many things as well. So PC games
The
were pretty
resources weren't really
lacking.
needed for
And
it, no.
yeah, what they managed to do with those early consoles was basically make an integrated computer where there's no overhead for the operating system. It's making that day and age of computer able to run games a lot better than an actual computer. So back then, yeah, there's no doubt
Boy.
PC gaming was shit. There wasn't really anything for PC gaming back then, right?
No, not really.
But
I mean, you
now
still had,
it's like literally the consoles, the newest gen consoles, the PS3, PS4, PS4 and PS5, and the newest Xboxes even. I don't even know which one's the newest anymore because their naming scheme is so confusing. But the newest consoles that came out in the last 5 years are literally just computers. They have computer graphics cards and computer processors inside of them.
Well,
They
because-
literally are computers, just a custom OS. That's it. It's not
because the
like-
quality of the product that the studios are putting out now is much higher than it was, let's say, back in the days of Nintendo 64 when you had 64-bit games.
Because you
Or
couldn't.
let's say, with like second generation, you had PS2, you had GameCube, and you had Xbox 360.
Yeah, that-
those games
Back
don't
then
pale
you-
in
you
Well,
comparison.
Xbox itself.
Because the hardware, not even just computers, but even computers without like integrated circuits and shit that the consoles were at that time, couldn't handle what they can handle now. But there was still a period there where computer gaming was starting to take off and be somewhat on par with the consoles, and then the consoles were just like, screw it, let's just use the computer GPUs and CPUs. And now they are literally the same thing. You can run freaking Linux on any modern console.
Yeah. Technically,
They literally
console
are computers now.
Kind of a Linux Windows hybrid, so yeah.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, with that, that's where I'm saying, like, the only real reason anymore to buy a console is for the specific features of the console, or and in that, the exclusive titles.
Yeah.
And Sony, I think it's Sony that's more pushing for a bunch of their games to be cross-platform to PC now.
That's a
Because
different...
I don't know
they
if
are
you-
moving a lot of their...
I don't know if you actually saw the drama with Sony recently. They had to really pull back. They had to backtrack really bad because of the Helldivers thing, because what apparently was happening was that earlier this month in May, they actually put out an update that says, hey, if you want to play Helldivers 2 now, even if you're on PC, you have to create a PlayStation Network account. And
to
Yeah, I
clarify,
saw
that
that.
update hadn't dropped yet. It was going to be at the end
it
of the
hadn't
month.
dropped. It was going to drop May 6th, but then immediately seeing the backlash,
Was it May 6th?
They also,
May 6th.
with that though, the crazy thing with that, they announced that they were going to ban it, or they were going to make it required, right? And then they blocked the game in certain countries where PlayStation Network accounts aren't allowed.
Mhm.
And then when they
There's a whole
backtracked, they
thing
still
behind
haven't
that.
removed that block. They still haven't removed that block, that ban in all those countries. So they are still not letting people in those countries play the game anymore. And
Well, yeah, it
that's
also depends on
entirely
which
their
countries.
choice. No,
most of them are
it's
Middle
the
Eastern
countries-
or
Yes, but it's the countries that PlayStation Network accounts are not allowed in.
I was
As of
going to
this
say
moment, there
susceptible
are
to
more
hacking.
countries that are actively banning PSN.
No, it's-
I'm pretty sure because of all this.
Yeah, it's the countries that have banned PlayStation Network accounts that you can't you can't do that. You still can't buy Helldivers in those countries.
I'm saying more
And
No,
countries
you
that-
are
can
banning
buy
PSN.
Helldivers. You
And-
just can't
no, you
have a
can't.
PSN account.
No, you can't. The Steam store page has banned the Sony blocked those countries from being able to buy the game.
Supposedly,
Steam
and I say
Steam developers.
supposedly, that was an error they're working out with Valve.
That's a very supposedly
I didn't
thing
say
because
I'm not
um,
justifying it. I'm telling
yeah,
you what their
through-
reasoning was.
through my knowledge of other developers on Steam, when you post something on Steam, you as the developer of it get the choice to click some checkboxes for which countries you want it allowed in, which countries you don't.
Yeah.
And when you make changes to that within 24 hours, maybe 48 if it's on the weekend, Steam will push that update out to everyone and make it available or not available, depending on the new settings.
While we're talking, I want to check the situation on that.
But anyway, so does anyone have more of a reason to buy a console than just the exclusive titles?
I would say
Since
for
you can make a
nostalgia
computer-
purposes.
Since you could make
Like,
a computer that's just as powerful and play all of the games that aren't exclusives to one console. And you
Well,
can
yeah,
still
just
plug
like
a controller into the computer and use that.
What about plug and plays? Have you ever bought one of those?
Plug and play?
Do you know what a plug and play is?
Are we talking like?
I'm sure I do, but I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay, so it was, I guess, a good example of it. I don't know the exact name of it, but Super Nintendo Remastered. Like, basically, you plug it into the HDMI, and you have access to all these different games in actual 16-bit. That's a plug and play.
I mean, I had a super old one. I think it had like what was it? Like Pac-Man and like games like that. It had a joystick and 2 buttons on it, and it just plugged into
The Atari?
No. It was not a console. It was just a system that had a handful of games on it.
Oh, 4 games on.
And you
I
just plugged it
I know what
straight
you're
into
talking
the
about. I
TV.
used to own one of those.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
Yeah.
We dubbed it.
I don't know
Atari
where the
Lite,
fuck that
'cause
thing
that's
went.
basically what it was.
Yeah,
That's great.
It basically was an
So,
Atari. Lite.
Xavier and Vampy, do you guys have any consoles?
I think there's an
You were
N64 somewhere
just
around the
talking about
house,
the Helldivers.
and
Yes.
the Sega
We're gonna-
Genesis.
We'll get to that
And
soon
I
enough.
went
In
to
fact,
friends'
let me get back to my
houses to
research.
play on the PlayStation and the
All right.
Xbox to do different things like Halo and COD and things like that. So I've got experience with basically any kind of game you can think of.
Okay. Yeah, so
I got
I only have a
Sega
PS3.
Master.
Oh, yeah. Sega.
I got the
Sega?
Nintendo regular. I got Super Nintendo. I got the Sega Genesis. I got the Sega
Xavier, I'm
Saturn.
coming over.
I
You have
got
a Famicom.
Dreamcast, baby.
Do you have a Famicom?
Oh my god, the Dreamcast.
I had a Famicom.
Dude, the Dreamcast was
Then
the
I had a
first
daughter.
console I ever used.
Cheap.
Before we go any further, as of this moment, a few countries are able to purchase Helldivers 2 again, but it is still an ongoing process.
All right,
They
Xavier, you
recently
came
also
in
changed
here
their
pretty
CEO.
upset about Helldivers, so
Hopefully that does
you go off, bud. It seems like you got something to say on that.
You know, and it seems for a good reason.
Yeah, no.
too. Does anybody know
We're
about
done.
the CEO?
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
I'm not sure which topic you want me to go on. No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go on anything.
You said you said I heard you when you came in. You said I am pissed. I guess it was about Helldivers. I said something, or
Oh no. Oh yeah, work called in and I had to go back into work, which made me a little bit late today. So I had to go back, call in the person I was supposed to be in, find out they were jacking off. It's just like I go in, I find out, dude,
The
you
greatest
haven't been
excuse.
clocked in for 3 fucking hours. What the fuck you want me? I'm just like it's coming back to me. I'm like getting a little bit like that's that livid energy. Listen, I don't like screaming at grown men unless I am power. Never mind. But you understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, jeez. Yes. Oh, man, Xavier, you're going
That being
off.
said, I understand where you're coming from, Xavier.
Oh, the rear.
They were when I was working at Walgreens. They were few and far between. But they
Oh, God.
were- Never mind.
Xavier's on his
he fucking came to
flamboyant.
play today, dude. No shit.
Okay,
This
so
is what it is. I'm not supposed to be this energetic. I'm supposed to come in nice, calm, and smooth. But they just
Okay.
pissed me off, man. And it's not good. I don't like. Yeah.
Well, let's get
So
why
there,
are you
there's
going
one
in
thing.
on us?
There
Why
is
do you go
one
70s
big
Yeah.
question that I'm hoping to get to the bottom of by the end of this podcast today, and that is simply: is it worth buying a console if you're going to play the same games people are playing on PC?
No,
I have an answer to that.
no, just no. Well, it's more.
I got a better question.
This
Is there
is
even-
a generational
I got
question.
a better
think this
question.
I
Is there
think it's a
even
very
still a
generational
console
question.
war going on? Because it seems like everyone's fucking up lately. Xbox with closing down 4 different studios, Sony with the Helldiver situation, Nintendo copyright striking everyone on YouTube.
PC gaming.
I mean,
in general.
really-
Gosh, was God.
At this
Yeah.
point, consoles all share the same games. There's a couple. There's never really any titles that I know of. There's never any like popular games that I know of that are exclusive to consoles. They might be exclusive to Sony, exclusive to Wii, Nintendo, or exclusive to Xbox, but they'll also be on PC. So,
At some point, yeah.
why would you buy one of the consoles if you're going to be limited to games that are only made for that console when you could buy a computer that costs the same?
Christ, Vampy.
In the end, computer that is
Dear
as
God,
powerful, if
you
not
give
more
birth in your
powerful,
mouth?
than most consoles.
Abort that baby.
So here, Vampy, can you stop dying? Anyway,
I'm sorry,
so
I'm not feeling the fucking best.
He burped so hard. He
you
ripped his
can
heart out.
a console when a console first comes out, it's like what, $1,000 now?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Consoles are usually around the $300,
Yeah, when a console's-
$400 range.
5 and
Look,
600
I-
sounds more accurate.
You're buying used consoles for that much.
No,
When they
PS5
first
came
come out,
they're like
$700-800.
Yeah.
And so even at
Just
that
co-
price point, you can still build a computer that can handle any game that console can handle just as well, if not better, for that same price.
Yeah.
And some games that they work
Well,
that are even better.
Let's talk Nintendo for a minute, because Nintendo is the
That's what I just said.
oddball that really makes a lot of this, which changed this whole narrative question around. Xbox and PlayStation have been playing into the same game of basically being a game at home PC. Not Nintendo. They are a gaming, maybe one of the last, true game stations. You can play on their console in a way that you can't play at home. With other stuff. Maybe you can try to find a way to get your joysticks on there, but it's not designed for that. Wii's designed to play its games on the Wii or Wii U or whatever the next thing they got coming on, or its older consoles. In fact, if you go further back, when you want to get to into a console like area where it makes sense why not to play it on a PC, Nintendo is the best one with the argument, even with its Game Boys and stuff.
I miss my
Yeah,
Game Boy.
I would say if I was gonna buy a console just to have a console, I'm gonna buy a fucking Switch.
Yes.
That's the only console that has any exclusive titles anymore that aren't on PC.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more, Turtle. Nintendo is thinking about adding another console. Something that PlayStation and Xbox aren't quite doing. A new console after 2024, while the other studios are just kind of, killing off games. And one that's doing rather well right now is Nintendo still.
I love how this went from
They're
Beyond
not cutting off
Pixels to
people.
Nintendo Direct.
I know, but they are kind of winning in this weird console. No one knows about this because most of us play PC, and if you play PC, maybe you play Nintendo. Well, there's a good chunk of us that do. But a lot of the conversations, Nintendo's out, but they are a gaming console. They're gaming. They're just kind of weirdly odd out because, their games don't convert to PC, and the PC don't convert back. And then when they does, they are some ugly ports from PC to Nintendo. It makes Nintendo people bad, and they don't want to play those. They rather play something built on this console than something that's ported over. Less pixels, less character, creativeness. They look ugly. I know I'm talking about Mortal Kombat. If you're watching this and you see
I have
it,
a-
about that.
I have a real
I-
question here. What company made the Atari? Was that Nintendo?
No.
they were a competitor
No.
to the Atari.
Yeah, the Atari was its own thing.
The company that
And
made
wasn't like
the
4
Atari
years ago
doesn't
they
exist
released
anymore, do
another
they?
Atari?
They
They
released
still
Atari?
exist. Yes, about
What?
2 or 3 years ago. Yes, there is a relatively new Atari system. It's more of a just like you have it for a fan pack, but it is a clean, sexy looking beast though. I do want it. They did bring back the wood grain in the modern era. It looks really good, but they know what they're just kind of a here's the thing, you can play a couple games we had in the past type of thing. But, no,
it's
yeah,
more of a
they're
retro
still alive
console.
and-
Speaking of wood
What?
grain, I want a wood grain PC now. I really want that.
I would love
think
to
it would look
build
awesome.
that.
You know what would be
I-
better? You
I
have
now
a
think I know
desk,
what-
It's
and the
7.
desk is your PC.
I think I know
I've
what
seen those a
Turtle's
lot,
next
Minimum
but I've never
5
seen a
grand.
wood grain PC.
Well,
This
wood
is
grain
from my
desk
next client,
PC,
minimum
like,
5
it's
grand, and I'll
actually-
do
your
it
desk
for you.
is actually the entire PC, the entire desk.
Yeah, I've seen people do that before, though.
I'm
That's the
shooting
thing.
for
Like, I
7,
want
though,
a
7.
regular
That's
tower
that'll
that
make a really
is just
sexy
wood
system.
grained, inside and out.
Oh.
So
It's
I think we're
possible.
all pretty much of the agreement then that PC overall, if you're just gonna game PC,
Yeah,
if you want super specific games that are only on one console, buy that console just for that.
Yeah.
Well, even nowadays,
it's like
all you
the
have to do is just go to
exclusives.
All you have to do
really
is go to
help, you
Mudahar's
know?
channel and learn how emulation works, and just download an emulator.
Yeah,
You want to play
they're-
Pokemon? You can actually play it on
But-
PC. You want to play Mario? You can play it on PC. You can emulate it.
So emulators
I can play it on my
for
phone
modern
or
consoles,
iPhone.
emulators for modern consoles don't
ROMs.
really work as well though, because there's actual hardware chips blocking all of that. Like you used to be able to just use something to extract the BIOS and the boot scripts from the consoles. Like you could do that with PS2s. I think you could do it with PS3, and that's like the last console that I know of that you could do that with. And you could legally take those and load them on and do the same with the discs legally, but you know, no one that's emulating does it legally, obviously. 'Cause
Exactly.
I actually
Why
have
would they?
a PS2 BIOS somewhere on one of my computers.
Actually,
That I
As
this
long
is a
as
bit
for
of
a
a-
while.
said,
All
if
right,
it's more
since we're going-
expensive to follow the law, you no longer have a
Since
law.
we're going that direction, Turtle, what are your thoughts on pirating games?
See, okay, personally, I am fine with it if you are doing it
Here
to
we go.
test the
Here's the
game out.
debate.
But if it's on Steam,
Oh yeah.
if it's on Steam, don't. Just pay for the game, do your 2 hours. If you don't like it after the 2 hours, get your refund. It's super simple, it's super easy. It'll never be denied. If it's not on Steam, then, you know, play the game for an hour. If you don't like it, delete it, get rid of it. If you do like it, buy the actual game.
There is a slight problem with the 2-hour refund policy. Is that some games will make it as fun as possible for those first 2 hours, so that once you get into the heart of the game, it's too late. You can't back out at that point.
Campaign
Yeah, and those are
missions.
some scummy
right at the
games. And you can still request a refund after the 2 hour mark. It's just not a guaranteed refund at that point.
I know. I tried with Redfall multiple times. It did not work.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the epic
If Steam
Silent
gets
Hill?
enough, if Steam gets enough refund requests on a game that people have played for 2.5 hours, and then they're requesting it, they'll start to look at that and be like, "Get the fuck out of here! Refund everyone!"
Yeah, they
something
will
as
do
well,
that.
So something was going on.
Yeah. But if it's just
But,
one person that's like, this game got less fun 2 hours in, I'm gonna refund it, then they're not gonna do it.
But you remember the good old I just said the name of it. Silent Hill.
It was Silent Hill, yeah.
Yes. It went up. It was phenomenal. If you guys remember it, it's where a lot of 25% of Halloween is inspired by that game. You walked around in a house, you turned a corner, you turned a corner again, you're still in the same room, and it changes and updates
To
over. That's
clarify,
pretty much
chat. I'm sorry, before you go any further. To clarify, chat, what he's
Yes.
referring to is PT, short for playable teaser.
Oh
Teaser.
my god.
For Silent Hill.
Yes.
PT.
If you
Good luck trying to get it.
it's worth a YouTube watch of just watching people's reaction. It's so entertaining. It's so good. And what they did is they just decided to take it down. And I think that opens up the reason for piracy a lot, because these are works of art. We have museums to preserve works of art. We don't have anything really like governmental protecting certain works of art. So when they go, they're gone.
That's a big thing. So when it comes to games on consoles, sometimes the consoles have different servers than the PC, and you can't host a console server, but you can host a PC server yourself.
Yeah.
And that means if that developer decides, fuck it, we don't want this game anymore, and they stop hosting the console servers, then you lose the game that you paid for it on your console, and you can no longer play it multiplayer at all.
Yeah.
Oh, they shut
Yeah,
down
and
the
there's some
Overwatch
people on
1
PlayStation
servers.
If you have PlayStation that costs over $1,000, it's because they have PT on it, and you never go online. You can still play.
You can
PT.
actually
It
go on
doesn't need
eBay
to
and
be
buy
online.
that, dude. You can go on
Yeah,
eBay
that's
and there are
what I'm referring to.
PlayStations that
Didn't-
have a copy of PT still on it.
So
And they are
didn't,
worth a fortune.
didn't fucking Nintendo just shut down one of the consoles I think it was Nintendo shut down a bunch of the old servers, and people are holding out just like they
Yes.
did with Halo. They're holding out on the
Mhm.
servers right now.
You might be talking about Wii U. Because that was the
Yeah, Wii U.
console before Switch. They may have
I
just
think
lost support for that
I
one.
think Wii and Wii U shared servers. They were basically the same console, using the same back end of everything.
Wii wasn't as direct with internet capabilities as Wii U was. There were definitely some services that
Yeah.
shut down after they stopped supporting Wii, but it wasn't as wide as Wii U was.
Yeah, most of
I mean,
Wii
I
games are
have a
still
Wii in my
traditional
closet.
console. yeah,
Go get it.
but most of I have a Wii too. I should have mentioned that. But yeah, most of the games it was on the disc. You put it in, you play it.
Yep.
No waiting for downloads or whatever,
Yeah.
unless they they wanted to add that in.
But-
that was much later in the game cycle.
So what I was talking about though, like if a game
Mhm.
decides that they're shutting down, or the console manufacturer says they're not supporting that console anymore, you can no longer do anything with that console. Like if you try to use an Xbox 360, most of the multiplayer games that did exist back then, you can't play anymore because they shut down and just completely disabled all access from the 360.
Local only.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I will say like,
any
a
of
lot
those
of games
games-
will still run.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they'll
any
still
of those
run,
games
you
that
just get an
existed
error.
on that, yes, but any of those games that were on that console that also existed on PC, you can still play multiplayer on the PC if someone's hosting the server, and it's also relatively
Mhm.
easy to reverse engineer a server and host it on a PC, and people have done that for certain games. I don't really have any names to toss out directly, but I know it's been done.
I think I have an idea for a solution to this problem, and it's one that is not like hidden. We already use it, kinda, kinda. But
Just make
a
everything
lot of people here
cross-platform.
have YouTube channels. We make YouTube videos and stuff like that, and we need music. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll buy our music, or we'll buy a subscription or something like that. Imagine having an option to not just you can buy your playable license of the game. Just like you can buy that, basically buy the license to play that song, or you can buy, an extended license to it, which means you can do a lot more with it. So you can host your own server with it. So imagine this, like, hey, Helldivers. Oh my God, it's not in a lot of countries that it was in before. If they offered the idea of having an extended purchase where, we are not going to support you with our servers, but you can make your own local server if you pay, I don't know, 4 times the price. It's a premium, but now
Yeah.
you get to host a game.
A lot of companies don't do that. It's even for console servers. They don't let you host your own console servers because they don't want modded servers or hacking servers. They don't want to deal with that type of thing. So that's why they don't really do that. And
World
I
of
mean,
Warcraft would be a
and
great example
from-
of that.
But also,
But that's
from,
what the purchase
from
was
my
before,
perspective,
and
as
that's-
from my perspective as a host of game servers, if a game charges me to host the server, no one's going to host that server. No one's going to pay that extra fee to host that server or play that server because it's
Oh, no. I'm not saying like a monthly fee. I'm saying like you would buy it as like a game. So you pay, let's say $60 for a full game. Maybe you pay $260 for the server rights. At that point,
yeah, that's
you have it.
that's what I'm saying though. No
Boy.
game host would do that. Like if you were to go and rent a server from someone to play a specific game, you're now going to be paying 5 times as much to have a server for that game, and they're going to be charging you that monthly. Not
I
I
can
don't
think of a
realize
few
you're
that
just
would.
describing Xbox Live.
I was about to say World of Warcraft, Final
Oh, man.
Fantasy.
Xbox
I was
Live
gonna
is
bring
so
up World of
overrated.
Warcraft. Yeah. The vanilla
Xbox Live
server
charging.
that was
Boy.
made by fans.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Live
Stop messing with
charging
that.
back in the day for just the basic multiplayer access was so stupid.
I have the same
that-
feeling
that
about
made me
PlayStation
really hate
Network, dude,
consoles.
because it was $60 annually for a PlayStation Network pass for on my
But-
end because I
but
wanted to play with
PlayStation
friends back in the day.
Network- But PlayStation, even on the PS3, they didn't charge to play online. They only charged to utilize
Sorry if I'm
their
venturing
online
like
servers
crazy,
and
my
shit. And
cat's trying to
games
rip
didn't
shit
have to
apart.
use that. It was up to the game. If the game used PlayStation Network's servers, then you'd have to pay for their pass or whatever. I think that's how that worked. But I know I played multiplayer games on the PS3 and never once had to pay anything.
Well, yeah, that's on the PS3. I'm talking about the PS4.
Oh yeah, I don't know any consoles past the PS3. PS3 is the only console I've ever owned, but really. I mean, I technically have a Wii, but it hasn't been plugged in 10, 15 years now.
I want to ask
I'd rather
you,
go back to the
just
Nintendo
because you mentioned
64.
The Wii.
Those days were fun.
you mentioned older games. You mentioned older games, Turtle. I want to ask you this: what about and this is something that irks me to fucking hell and back, and that is a lot of these modern day consoles, despite the fact that they have great processors, more modern technology, better, more computing processing abilities, where's the fucking reverse compatibility?
Oh,
You know, that's another thing.
yeah.
Consoles, when the PS3 came out, you couldn't play PS2 games on the PS3. When the PS4 came out, you couldn't play PS3 games on the PS4. PS5 comes out, you can't play PS4 games on the PS5.
Well, actually,
But a
you kind
PC
of could if you had digital copies.
There's certain games that you could, but for the most part,
So
you could.
basically,
But you
And
were
that-
so
buy
limited.
digital
Your
copy.
library was so limited at that point. Your library was so limited
Yeah.
at that point. It's
Boy.
almost like the discs are just sitting on the fucking shelf collecting dust at that point.
Yeah, but when
I'm
it
gonna
comes to
chuck my cat at my
PC,
roommate. I'll be right back.
you don't have to worry about that.
Happy tossing.
If
Throw that pussy.
99% of modern games, they're either continuously being updated or they were made on Windows 7 and still work on Windows 11. Any game made in the last 15 years still works on Windows.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
What,
it's
15 years
just-
ago, a game that was made on the PS2? Nope.
It just feels like it's just a fucking cop-out to get you to buy the latest console so that this way it's just like, oh, hey, you know, even though we're a
Yeah.
billion-dollar company, we can't figure out reverse compatibility, so this way, you know, because when I had a PlayStation 2, I could play PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 2. And then all of a sudden,
Yes.
these people, and all of a sudden the special needs kids came in and designed the PS3 saying, oh, we can't do reverse compatibility for
Well,
PS2.
So that one actually I understand a lot more because the PS2 was not built on Linux. The PS2 was all in-house BIOS. Like it was an operating system that wasn't really an operating system. It was barely a BIOS that just controlled the inputs. The PS3, on the other hand, was built on Linux. And that right there means a complete and total incompatibility with anything written for one CPU trying to be ran on a new one. It's that
Well,
one I can understand. But after the PS3, PS4, and PS5, pretty much any game made on the PS3 can run on the PS5 logically. But they removed some of the API integrations later on and replaced them with other things for no reason.
Yeah, it just irks me that this seems like. First off, it's a good marketing strategy. Don't get me wrong, because not only does Sony do it, but Xbox does it, Nintendo does it. I mean, in terms of the consoles, in terms of like reverse compatibility, these
Xbox done a little different
name
from
one
what I
360
understand.
you
though.
can play. Name one Xbox 360
not
game you can play
360
on a
again.
Series X.
Okay, circuitry. Listen, the same statement I just made about the PS2 to the PS3 goes from the 360 to the Xbox One. The same sort of
They did,
issue.
okay.
The operating system was built
I'm just enjoying the stereo
completely
sound right now.
differently than a PC. And all modern consoles literally are PCs. They are computers now. There's a big difference in the actual hardware architecture between those. So things are going to be incompatible across that gap. And funnily enough, Xbox now, their newest
Yeah,
consoles,
sorry,
what is it, like
Strange, we
the
don't
One
have control
S,
over
the
the
One
ads.
X, things
Thanks,
like
Twitch.
that. The One S, the One X,
Yeah.
that type of crap. There are a lot of games that are compatible across them. because Xbox is actually sort of just upgrading the same console with newer, more upgraded GPUs and CPUs, and that's about it. So there are cross-compatible games on the latest in the last 5 or 10 years when it comes to Xbox.
I'm talking about games going back to the early 2000s, bro. I'm
yes,
like, let's
and
say I
I'm
wanted to
telling
play.
you why those are not compatible, and I've explained that.
When you
Yeah,
You're not
but
going to be able to play those on a modern.
debate.
You're not going to be able to play those on a modern console because the system architecture is completely and totally different. That's like trying to play Fortnite on your phone. Wait, that you can actually do
about
that.
that.
Which people can
Never
do.
mind.
I mean,
Yeah, that's okay because it was specifically built to work on your phone. It's like trying to take an exe from your phone and run it on, or from your computer and run it on your phone. It doesn't work because it's two completely different systems. Or taking an APK from your phone and running it on your computer. You can't do that. You can't take a phone app and just run it on your computer as it sits on the phone. That doesn't work because it's completely different architecture. Right around the Xbox 360 and the PS2 time, when those were the common consoles, that's when the architecture changed right after them. Completely different systems. You can't get compatibility across those without actual emulation, and that on the next generation of consoles, very, very unreasonable, very way too much overhead to run it comfortably without a massively degraded user experience.
I don't know. I think nowadays with what we have now, and especially we're talking about Microsoft, a $3 trillion company, I'm pretty sure they can find a way to figure out the processing problem.
You're still going to have a degraded user experience trying to emulate. Emulation does not get you a one-to-one experience as it was on the console it was made for.
No, we're not talking about
And, I mean, you can
one-to-one experience.
you can emulate. You can emulate most games from the 360 and the PS2 era on your computer. You can.
I think it's almost popcorn time.
Right.
I've done it for the PS2, and I've had some fun games there.
All right. Well, we've talked about consoles enough. Let's go back to Steam. All right.
Hey, Chad, how many times did I spin around? Count
So
this revolution.
Steam is to the PC what each marketplace
So at
for
least an
games
Easter egg
on
to
the
you.
consoles are on the consoles. So the PlayStation, whatever, buying your digital game on the PlayStation Network or buying your digital game on the Xbox, Steam just is that for PCs, right?
Oh yeah, we be down.
Well,
for
I also
development
use
night.
game. I don't just use Steam. I use Game Jolt
you
as
do.
well. If
But,
y'all
I mean,
ever
for
use
the-
Game Jolt,
All right.
For the most part, though, Steam is the go-to if you're
yeah,
going to play
Steam
a
is
PC
like
game,
the
you're gonna have a-
monopoly in terms of
any night if
games.
you're down,
Yes,
really.
of course, I agree
Yeah.
with you on that. I'm just saying that Game
The
Jolt
other ones would
also
be
is
like
good.
getting a disc for the consoles.
Okay. All right.
I might be on some
It's
shit,
the
but
secondary market.
Yeah, which, by the way, they're
You-
pretty much
don't
doing
worry,
away
you-
with
you-
discs
we'll carry
nowadays.
you
Like
on.
everything is now digital buying rather than
Enjoy the
actually
box.
like unless you're buying
Appreciate it, Guardian.
collector's edition. That's the only reason you're gonna have a physical copy.
Yeah, there are some market areas where the internet's not as fast, and discs are much more common there because you can't really download the game. You'll be sitting there for 3 days trying to download a 30 gig game when the disc can just install it and you can download 2 gigs of updates and run it faster. So there are certain markets, certain regions of the US and the world actually, where physical copies are still a very common thing.
By the way, did you hear
Anyway.
about the Tarkov situation? Did you hear about the
I know
Escape from
nothing about
Tarkov?
that.
The extremely overpriced edition?
The unheard edition because it's the price of it is unheard of. For the
Yeah.
full
Those
price,
who
you want
raise their pinky
PvE?
finger at all times.
You want PvE? It's going to cost you $250.
This is not a joke. This is something they
That
tried
is
to
not
market.
me. You heard me exactly
Oh,
right.
it gets
$250 for. And
We
by the
know.
way, they didn't call it DLC.
getting
They
to the
called it
baseline.
exclusive content.
Yeah, exclusive. Sure.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
Rich
this was
insane.
absolutely something that was. They actually doubled down. They tripled down, quadrupled down on the thing, saying, "Hey guys, you know, I mean, they're trying to justify the price." I'm like, $250 for a fucking game. It's like,
No, guys,
fuck
we
you, give me
promise
200.
this is quadruple A gaming content.
Yeah, you want to
See,
fight a bunch of AI
Sorry, that will
bots?
still
You know
be
what's
the
wild,
biggest
though?
meme I've ever fucking heard.
back in the
It's-
early console days, the PS2 era. I mean, I really just have to go back to then because that's when I remember things. When it comes to console gaming, that's the only time I've ever console gamed. But console games, you'd go to GameStop and you'd buy a brand new game for $60 or a used game for like 20 or 30. Now, PC gaming and all gaming now really, you're paying $60 for every game every time. There's no secondhand market anymore for games.
I tried to
that
buy
kinda
Black
is.
Ops 2 tonight. It's 60
Okay,
fucking
you know-
dollars.
Mhm.
Yeah, but isn't it strange that games still cost $60 for a new copy? That price has not
Oh
gone up at
no!
all.
Now we're up to 70.
Isn't that strange? Oh
You
really?
know, it's funny if we get on this
That's
topic,
not including
it's
DLC,
not the-
by the way.
That's not including DLC. No.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
the games it's 10 years ago. A brand new game cost
12 years
$60
ago.
on a disc.
20.
10, 12 years ago, whatever. It doesn't matter.
30.
Even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, a game on a disc cost $60. Now, a game online costs $60. What the fuck
Pretty
happened to
full circle.
inflation when it comes to games? There's no inflation.
Corporate greed.
Like I'm not
Corporate
complaining
greed. I could tell you
about that.
exactly what
No.
happened.
Yeah.
No. If it was corporate greed, the price of the game would be $90 right now.
We're getting
Then why are they?
there.
Then
That's
why
the
are they laying off
problem. Yeah,
employees and
yeah,
shutting
we're
down
getting there.
studios? That if corporate greed has nothing to do with it, why are they shutting down studios and laying off employees? 10% of their employees. Why are they doing that? If it's not corporate greed.
Also, games are selling more
okay, no.
than they ever have. We're talking about 20 years. I'm just gonna say 20 years. They've been still
Despite
selling
the bullshit.
yeah $60. Where 10,000 sales on a game is actually pretty good for a game back in the day. Now it's in the upper millions to billions. So it's not like they're not getting their money.
They're still making money, but they haven't increased the price of a new game. The whole gaming
That
market
might
as a whole,
correlate.
the new games don't cost more anymore. The price never went up. That's what I'm getting at, and that to me is actually wild and awesome.
That's not true, actually.
Not quite. Games
That's
as a
not true.
service.
So the core games, if you're just going to play the core of a game, all of the additional stuff, I'm going to agree costs more now. But it's also additional. You wouldn't have had that years ago. They would have just sold the same core game
Also,
for
thank you for catching
$60.
that bot turtle. I did not even notice.
I agree that.
Yeah, so I mean, still, when it comes to PC versus console, it's the same fucking issue when it comes to the cost of games now, though, because you pay for the base game and then you have to pay for all the DLC and all the extra content and all that crap. So PC versus console is no different in that aspect.
I also think
price
there's a
gouging is
relationship
Or
gonna
you
be
get
on
a free
every
game and
platform.
then you have to pay for every little thing inside of it.
Remember when you said something earlier about like the fact that a lot of these games aren't exclusive, like they're PC or they're PlayStation and PC, they're Xbox and they're PC. Well, I'm pretty sure that's to do with the player base on PC. They're used to paying more for their games. I mean, name your MMORPG, they'll pay for that. Console players, those are the kids. I mean, they kind of grew up with that. You don't buy extra things for games. You buy a new game, but you don't buy extra things on a game. Yes, that's waste of money. But for us, yes, I'll pay another
Sort of.
$10 so my red tie
Some
can
games
be
had expansion CDs you bought. Star Ocean's a good example.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And then $15 a month situations.
Yeah.
Well, I've
Okay,
already
I think
bitched
we
and
finally got
complained
to the
about
chill
sim-
music in the.
You know, that makes me want
I've
to
already
say,
bitched and complained
we were
about-
listening.
I've
I
already
got
bitched
something
and
fun at the
complained
market
about
today.
the whole subscription services on another episode of the podcast. Which, by the
That was a
way,
few episodes ago, yeah.
you should go and watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to the
yeah,
prior
everything.
episodes. They're all
Watch
up on
every
YouTube.
single episode. Have it on
Alright.
in the background. You're
Oh,
not
man.
missing much
Yeah, but at the
visually.
same time, it's just subscription
Yeah,
as a
it-
service.
Oh, look at this. Oh, there it is.
If
And
you
we're
work
dying
from
to talk
home,
on
or
the
if you
topic, we
work
can all
somewhere where
talk
you
about
can have,
these.
if you work somewhere where you can have something playing in your ear, I guarantee you'll die laughing by going back and watching all the podcast episodes. There is a playlist
hang
on
hang
YouTube with
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
episode in it.
Vampy, have you at any point listened to these podcasts while you were working your night shift?
No, but I've recently been listening to the Fat Electrician and his all of his fucking history lessons.
You should at one point.
We gotta
have us
beat
on
the
while
fat
you're working
electrician
just
turtle.
to see if it makes a difference.
Listen, we gotta make that our mission.
I'm
That
sorry,
thing's gonna
but
listen
can you
to us.
make history funny?
I can. I was in it. I'm old.
I mean, history is all about
No,
getting
no.
fucked and
I'm
fucking
I'm talking
bitches, right?
about I'm talking about the eager beavers.
I mean,
I don't know what you're going on about.
What you want to talk about the eager
But-
beavers? I get those stories about eager beavers. I mean, they usually come quick.
Vampy.
You know.
Also, you're younger than
So-
me. Why are you? Are
No,
you?
So-
no,
I forgot.
no.
I think you have
Who? Vampy's,
one thing.
Vampy. Yeah,
I
Vampy is
forgot how
that
old you
older.
are.
Huh?
So I'm pretty sure
Younger than him?
Sobe has one thing
No.
to say about
I'm gonna be 30.
consoles that is a bonus
Yeah,
for
you're younger.
certain people.
No, he's older.
I'm younger than you, but not him.
You have my attention, sir.
Yeah, I don't like Nintendo.
Yeah, we kind of got lost in the age debate. What's up?
No, so
You know what? I'm drinking my
Toby.
hillbilly hooch.
I think there's something special about you that makes consoles a little better. Accessibility, right?
That is true.
Consoles
A lot of
are
people
a
get
little
consoles
better
just for how simple it is.
When it comes to accessibility,
Yeah.
for the most part, like
Okay,
because
Nintendo. You
controllers
just grab it, play with it.
are a little easier to work with for people with
Touch the
like
knobs and twist the
numb
arm.
fingers or
Why does that
whatever,
sound
like
sensual?
arthritis sort of things going on. So
That's
accessibility
true.
really, I think consoles win because Windows is not made to be used with a controller as its only interface,
Excuse me.
whereas
No.
the consoles are, and that just
You
some people.
Kinda
some
can
people
if you're
like
in things like Steam's big picture mode, but even then, that's still kind of.
Yeah,
I was
but
gonna
you
say,
have
I
to
play-
make it into that first.
I was gonna say I use an Xbox controller to play
No,
LA
but
Noir
Yeah.
whenever I want.
No, you can. So no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking
That's
about the
not
actual gaming
pretty-
experience because you can use a controller to game on Steam, but using the controller to actually get into Steam,
You know, we're
It's a
talking
little
navigation.
different.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have
Navigating
big picture mode
into the
boot
gaming
up when the
experience.
computer does, you still got to use a mouse and keyboard to get there.
Mhm.
yeah. So it's
Maybe
a little
touchscreen
less.
if you're rich.
And not all PC games support
my
a
God.
controller. Most do, but not all.
That is
VRChat
also
does.
true.
Well,
Yep.
obviously VRChat does. It kind of has to.
And then you
Yeah,
got
I was
like
gonna say,
Xbox
isn't it
controller.
wild? I do.
Oh.
I actually
Yeah,
want to bring
Literally,
this up to
basically has
Xavion.
to.
I want to bring this up to Xavion real quick because isn't
Yo.
it wild that back in the day, in order for Microsoft to sell their computers, they actually included a free copy of Doom on their actual stock,
Oh,
on their
right. I
actual
remember my
PC.
dad telling me
Yes.
about
Oh,
that.
God.
They actually
Yeah,
included
that's-
it.
That's how I got
That was my
got
introduction to Doom because my dad still had that copy.
Yeah,
I
that
got-
was.
I
think
it
it
was
got less
included.
chill.
What was it? I was
Again,
playing like it was like
I
the
think
Cal
you're on an
PC with the
uncaged
Cal
playlist,
prints.
but we'll worry about that later.
I'm trying to think what the name, what the brand and the computer. It was the one with the Cal print. That's what I had.
The cow
And
print.
Oh,
I
I
had to-
know what you're talking about. E-Machine?
I don't.
Yes.
Was it E-Machine?
No, not E-Machine. Not E-Machine.
fuck.
E-Machine is
Oh,
like
yo, hold on.
new
I literally have one with the fucking cow print shit that you're talking about in my
Let me look
closet.
it up.
Yes.
I have a stack of old PCs. Oh my god.
And why aren't you getting up to look?
Gateway.
I
Yeah,
want to know.
Gateway.
I want this mystery
Gateway.
solved
Yeah,
before
Gateway.
we. Gateway. Oh, Gateway. Intel Gateway. Oh my god.
Those are powerful.
Oh,
Those
man.
were at the time called powerful computers for at your
Yeah.
home.
Who
Like,
Never mind
Who
PC versus
remembers-
console. We're in a time machine right now, and I'm having fun.
who remembers the freaking tube big boy monitors?
Yep.
You know what I'm
I have
talking
one
about.
actually
yes,
still.
Some fat
CRTs,
boys.
I had
Yeah.
I have a
700
40-pound.
pounds on your desk, pinning it low.
My
I
father
have a
had, I think,
40-pound
one that was
monitor
like
in my
a
closet
super-
right
Hang
now.
on, do we mean the back
That he could-
tube?
Jesus.
Yes, the back tubes.
Now I know what you're talking about. God, one of those monitors almost killed my brother.
I think.
Oh my God.
I remember dropping that thing.
You can
crashed
murder
to the
somebody
ground,
with that
and
fucking
the
monitor.
thing cracked.
Hold on. I have something really, really big here. Really, really big. So, we're thinking back on when PS2 was a console, or any consoles before the PS2, right?
I'm
Think
pretty
back
sure it's
on
still a
that.
console.
Yes. Well, but when those consoles came out is what I'm talking. Go
Yeah.
back to then, and
we'll get to that time. Hold on.
What TV were you playing those consoles on? It was a CRT, right?
I think mine was.
Well, not exactly. There's something else that's even older.
Okay, but
Oh
We had a
my
big
God.
screen.
it was the CRTs. What I remember
It was
playing
a
them on was
projector.
old CRTs. Oh God, those things. Yeah. Anyway, what I'm getting at, the CRTs. Plugging a PS2 into a flat screen TV, the games don't look right.
They don't.
Yeah.
Plugging it into a CRT,
Oh, dude,
you hear that little twinkle that comes out, and it's like, ah, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no.
You know,
Unless
you know
have
the
a
twinkle
capture
I'm talking
card,
about too,
a
don't
way
you?
to like trick it into a new resolution, you're kind of screwed.
The degauss button.
Yeah.
You had the degauss button. You would press that so it would clear it up. So in case you didn't want the ting, because sometimes the colors will come off a little bit wrong. Oh my God.
So,
Now we're
okay,
thinking about these
Xavier,
old
this is
TVs.
wild that you are saying that word, Digaz, because I had never heard that word in my life, and now
Oh,
I've heard
yeah.
that word twice today.
Yeah.
I was gonna
What
say,
the
my-
fuck?
My favorite console that I
resets
own
your
right now
screen
is-
for your CRT, so you can get the correct display because it'll put the negative
Okay.
ions on the screen.
Okay.
Titan, old
Hang on, before we get to
Max.
Titan's question.
I played on one. I played
did
on
too.
one.
I used to play on one too.
I'm talking
Back
about
in
the
Me too.
Apple
TVs,
II.
though. Oh God, that is old.
Yeah, I have access to one of those. All I have to do is go down to my old work and be like, hey, I want to play with the fucking Mac.
I
and
used the
can play Oregon
Macintosh
Trail.
when I was at school.
Oh, yeah.
I
Whenever
can
we
play
went to the
Oregon
school
Trail
library, we used
on
the Macintosh.
green screen,
Yeah,
the
same for me.
green text terminal of the old OG Apple II.
The monitors used to be
That's
white,
some-
but they're slightly tinged off.
Oh yeah, they're like really, really yellow now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still
I was
thinking back
gonna
to
say,
the old school TVs. To anyone that's owned one, how many of you, before you turned it on, held your arm up to it just so you could see your hair trace?
Yes.
You would hear the
That shit was
static as
so
it
bad
hits
for you,
your
but we
arm.
did it anyway.
They
I
said
did
it
that
was
with
bad,
my
but that
50
came out all
We
right.
had a family
I don't know.
room with our big TV.
I
It was
would
a 50
stick-
inch. I would do that.
I would stick balloons to it.
Yep.
No,
and
I
then
stuck
stick the balloons to my arm and head and shit.
my sweater
Oh,
could stick
man.
to it, dude. We had a 50
Oh, yeah.
inch in the front
Oh.
room, and
Hold
Yeah,
up.
dropping a
Hold up.
napkin on the screen, it just it's stuck.
I'm about to. I'm about to drop a bomb on you guys. I'm about to drop one. Can you name a video game that you purchased with your box of cereal?
Ooh, I think your age is showing.
Hang on, wait. Does Sonic CD count?
Sir, your flies down at the showing, please.
There's a few in this category. There's a few. Yes, there was a 3D game, Chex Quest.
I was gonna say
No,
Captain
No,
Crunch.
That's too modern.
I
that
actually,
doesn't count.
well, no,
Chex
I
Quest doesn't
actually
count, that's
collected
modern.
box tops for.
Don't worry, I got you. Scrabble came
Xavier,
out.
didn't
was in
they
Bob.
come
Clue was
Didn't they
about
come as
sorry.
discs in the box?
There you
Operation
go.
Potato
Oh my
Head.
God.
These all came in cereal boxes.
Okay, one game. We're gonna go across one game from your childhood that you wish would be remade with modern graphics. Stealth.
Oh no.
To be fair, it's already been done. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, completely understandable.
Though if I
fucking
if
love
I
that
had to
shit.
pick a different one, Golden Axe. I want to do Golden Axe.
The fuck is that?
Golden Axe, isn't that like Blue Elf is about to die?
No, I think that I don't even remember anymore. That was so long ago.
I just remember the narrator playing that game a lot.
It was a
Oh, shit.
Do you know Streets of Rage?
No.
It's basically
Yes.
medieval.
Oh my god.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Okay, Xavier.
side-scrolling fighting game do you know of? That was basically it.
None.
Turtle, you disgust me.
No.
Xavier, one game from your childhood
I have
that
a
you could bring
lot.
back and have remade. Just one. Pick one.
I have a lot. I have so lot. Okay. Straight
We'll
off
let
the
him
cuff,
pick
trying to
three.
think. Okay, that'll help. There was a game called, I believe it was Lost. You basically kind of like it was a weird, like you went from screen to screen when you clicked on things. I would love to see that because it was so limited to the technology. It was showing 3D, but it couldn't do much rendering. So it was like a slideshow, but an amazing slideshow. Chex Quest. Why haven't we done that yet? It's a classic. People know it. It should be back. I would love to see
Xavier,
Chex Quest.
They did.
Wait, they did?
Okay.
Like 3
Well,
or 4
thank
years
you for
ago.
making a
This was
dream.
during the
Now, my
pandemic.
situation is the same as Stealth.
So that's why you said it was
'Cause
recent.
I
missed
I
that.
was an
thinking of the
advocate
old
for
one.
it for so
That's
long
why I'm
because I loved the
confused.
Sega Genesis. I loved Road Rash,
Totally missed that.
and they did a
Oh,
remake of it.
On the Xbox, there is a Sega Genesis
We'll go back to you
collection.
too.
I used to play that
Yeah.
and play all the fucking games from that. I don't remember any of the names from them. Memory around that time is completely fucking gone, but that's another story.
Okay, Road
my
Rash is the
game-
motorcycle one. Motorcycle racing with all kinds of weapons that you beat the shit out of other.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But the game that I would pick is Neopets: The Darkest Fairy. It was a PS2 game.
Ooh,
I know that one.
For my second.
I loved that game.
choice is one that hasn't been done, and I loved it, even though it was a difficult one. It was for the Nintendo 64, and it was called Glover.
Titan, what the fuck did you just
Oh.
send me?
Did you say flubber?
Glover. You were
Oh.
one glove, going around and walking.
I have not had a chance to
Interesting.
play it, but I know what you're talking about.
Nah.
But for me, Neopets: The Darkest Fairy. I love that game. Me and my mom used to play it all the time, and there was a lot of fun stories from that game. And the final boss in that game. Oh my god, we couldn't figure it out. We spent 3 days just trying to beat the final boss in the game. And then 5 years later, I went back and replayed the game, and I beat the whole game in 2 days.
Yeah, when you're a kid doing all that shit, and you come back 10
My
years
mom
later,
couldn't
like,
do it.
Okay, video games also weren't as prominent at her age.
Okay, but so Obi, one game from your childhood that could be remade today.
It's a little bit of two parts. I want them to bring split screen back. I want that to become mainstream again. But as for the game
also games
GoldenEye,
Yeah.
I would love if they
didn't
remade
Oh
GoldenEye.
no! They didn't.
Okay, I
Oh,
don't know
my
what that
They
last
is.
one.
ported
ready
it, but
now.
they ported it, but they didn't. remaster it.
007 GoldenEye.
Circuitry.
I'm glad
One
you
game.
said it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it. That's a good one.
Ah, god damn it! I've played
It was so fun.
so
it's
many
a
fucking
split
games.
screener.
First off,
You
they
get people at your house.
they already
Or go to
remastered one of
theirs.
my favorites, which was Dead Space. So I'm not gonna go with that one.
Yes.
But if
That
I
was
had to
great,
pick a
dude.
game, if I had to pick a game that no one's ever heard, I'm pretty sure Xavion, maybe y'all have heard of it. Blackthorn.
Oh,
I want them to
oh.
remaster Blackthorn.
Why does that sound familiar?
I think that would be great. It was made by Blizzard Studios
Studios
back in 1992 for the Super Nintendo. and it was one of the most badass games I've ever played. It was a 2D scroller where you were fighting off goblins and you were a prince that was like transported off. Your family got killed and your castle got seized. But when you finally came of age, it's time for you to kill.
Okay, you had to go to Blockbuster, right? And you had to see this game. Like, this has one of the sexiest looking box arts like out there, bar none. It's the manly cover. It's deep red, guys sitting there with a kind of a vest.
Oh,
we call.
That's why I don't remember this game that much. My brother banned me from letting me watch him play it. I never got to see it.
There's one more thing I want to talk about before we wrap up.
Wait, can I say my game? Wait, one more.
Yeah, go. Yep.
Yeah, you got one more.
Panzer Dragon. It's a beautiful game.
Yes!
Panzer Dragon.
I've never heard of any of these.
Play one. See if we're right.
Have you owned a
Emulators.
Sega?
So that's what I'm about to say here is kind of funny. So the Sega Dreamcast and the Sega Genesis, the whole Sega line of consoles. Sega started out making games for like the Game Boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they made their own consoles. And then they stopped making their own consoles and just went back to making games.
Yeah, we don't
I
talk
wish
about,
they would have
since you
continued.
mentioned it, their handheld.
Oh God.
I had it.
Okay,
I
did
hang on.
not. What was it called again? It was a Sega something.
Sonic Adventures.
The Sega
Sonic
Gear.
Adventures.
Gear,
oh my
that's
God.
what it was.
Listen,
Yeah.
Sonic Adventures on the Sega Dreamcast. My favorite game in the world. That little fucking the memory
Yes.
card with little on it where you freaking what the hell are they called? Your Chow would be on that, or you could load
Yes,
Chow onto
Chow
it or some
Garden.
shit. Oh my
Okay,
God.
while
And
we're
you-
on
you-
the topic,
I
I've got
love that
one more
so much.
remaster. Not a remaster per se. Sega, make a Chow Garden game. You have no idea how much money you'll
Oh
fucking
my
make.
God, yes. Please. That would
If
work.
it's live service, so be it.
The whole game is
Call
just
it
the garden
Nintendo. They love the idea.
and visiting other people's gardens. The
That would
whole
be
thing.
fun.
I would love that
Okay,
too.
honestly, Make it VR. Oh, if they made it VR, you could
Oh my
touch the
God.
chows.
If they made
Oh,
it
that would be
VR,
so cool.
I would probably never leave my headset, save for taking care of my kid.
We can have this show on in Turtle's Garden.
Beyond Mobius.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh,
Circuitry just
my
gave
headset
me
did not
an
like
idea. Circuitry just messaged me an idea for next week's episode, and I think I've got a little tweak to what he said. And my puppy is currently running in his sleep. That's cute as fuck. Anyway, so next week's episode, I'm thinking we talk about the idea of falling in love with characters, whether that be movies, shows, or games.
we talk it
parasocial
like, I really
relationships.
like this character,
It's
or I want to be inside
parasocial-
this character.
Yes. Parasocial relationships. There's a big thing with that. And I've looked into it a lot in the past. So I think we might just do an episode on parasocial relationships.
Apparently
I'm waiting
my
for
boy
the
just
ads to
skipped
be done.
over. Yeah. Give my cat some time to shut up.
So anyway, yeah,
I'm
that's
just gonna practice
I think
a little bit of strength and not say Sylvanas. She is fine as fuck, but they did kind of ruin her.
yeah. So parasocial relationships, any characters that you sort of were interested in. Because I can tell you already, there is one specific game that I may or may not have bought an entire console solely to play. That, we'll get to that next week.
If it's Tomb Raider, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
to be or not to be.
So that was just a tie back to me
Jerk it
buying a
or not to jerk
PS3 solely for Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap
Very
up.
so help me God.
So.
Spicy. I wasn't mute, was I? I was eating
No,
spicy
it's-
food.
I think I just guessed it.
What was it?
It's Kyrie. He hit on Kyrie.
Dude, I literally ended up in freaking. I ended up in RP groups on Kick that I found from iFunny
Oh my
that
god.
were Kingdom Hearts related.
I knew it. You're into redheads.
Anyway,
I don't have a
thanks
specific
guys
type.
for coming.
God.
It clearly does.
This has been episode 27 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. You can find us every Thursday on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Time, and also all of the prior episodes on YouTube about a week after they're on Twitch. So you can always go watch them, like them, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I want to know if that little button, I need someone to go and tell me if the subscribe button glows on YouTube when you watch this, when I say like and subscribe.
It does.
Need to know. I need to know because it does on other people's channels.
Yes.
Fine, I
Turtle,
will
there's a way you can actually trigger that. So actually, you know what? We're gonna make it trigger. Turtle, stand right here, like real close, right here. Because it needs to. Okay, so where it can like recognize your face. Now say like, share, and subscribe.
Like,
You got
share, and
a little closer,
subscribe.
you got a little closer.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
Also, I think during
Okay,
that
you
particular
little
portion, you
cultist,
may
sit
want
down
to
now,
mix the
boy.
audio so you don't deafen anybody.
Anyway. Watching myself.
A Titan can apparently confirm that
okay,
it does
anyway.
indeed do that. I've
So
never
I know.
seen
clip
it.
that,
I know it
please.
does.
We
Anyway.
need like this is a gif of just Turtle going like, share, and subscribe, hopping in front of the camera.
Anyway, we're gonna do the regular thing at the end here. I guess circuitry dipped out, but
I think his PC
Vampy, go
crashed.
ahead and shill yourself.
You know what? Instead of shilling myself this time, go watch the Fat Electrician on YouTube. He's funny, and you learn something.
There we go. We have a third party.
Also,
show.
are you
Might
still streaming
learn
on shit,
something.
or am I skipping you?
I do. I am still trying to stream, but I don't have to do the plug.
Okay.
I will say I don't like
You
Nintendo
are
because
the
they're
plug.
discriminatory against my people.
Xavier, shill yourself.
All right.
I can't use this.
Time to
Switch.
shill. Hey, you can find me on. Well, actually, you won't find me there. Go to Circuitry's channel on Rumble, and remember, he's not on TikTok. And if you see him there, that's not him. Go there, like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, but real quick. Titan, Electro Boom is fucking hilarious. 100% agree. So, Stealth, shill yourself.
All right. Y'all can find me on twitch.tv/StealthTheFox. I'm still trying to get my schedule worked on. I'm with this motherfucker on Mondays for game nights. I think once Cobra, because Cobra was talking about getting a 7 Days to Die server together. Once that gets started, I may stream more often. We'll see.
Make
I may
him come
join
to
you on
me
that
for
server.
hosting the server. I'll give him a hell of a discount.
Also,
Especially if I'm
Cobra
playing
Go
on it.
Turtle, he'll apparently give you a hell of a discount.
Yeah. You know what? Real quick, if you want a game server, I host game servers. I'll give you a month for free and super cheap after that
Hey!
because I don't charge out the ass like all of the other hosts do. So yeah, come to me. Anyway, thank you for being here. I'm gonna pass fuckers off, and then we're gonna have a good little after party. You know, talking about random bullshit.
Oh,
Turtle's gonna pull his cock
huge.
out.
It's a
Also, if
47.
your initials are ND and you're watching, I'm going to end you tomorrow.
Wait. Turtle,
you son
before
of a
you do
bitch,
that,
for making
before
me
you do
wait.
that.
And before I get in the show, you know what's coming. I'm going to get you.
Okay, Circuitry's not here. We forgot about a comment topic.
Name
Penis
what
enlargement. What
game
game do
you
you
would
wish?
like to have remade in the comments below.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Exactly what I
That's
was
good.
gonna say.
Remastered.
I'm
ported,
horrible at this.
What would you like to see on your console?
Going from your console
Yeah.
to the PC.
I like to see Destiny 1